up with you? Hold up. Let me get Henny back up here real quick. Let me get Henny up in here real quick. Boop. All right,
Oh, you good?
turn your camera back the way it was, Mike.
You perfect. You perfect
All
right
right,
there,
bam.
Mike.
You
Hey,
perfect right there.
how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
All right, I learned.
We good, bro. How you
I'm
been,
doing
man?
good. Hey, I'm driving around right now, so if the signal starts going weird, turn off your video, and then that will put all your internet towards your voice. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, while it's working, we can definitely let it work though. But yo, man, shoot, Mike, let them know where you at, man, real quick. Let them know where you at, and let them know where they can follow you at, real quick.
Yeah, West Texas Dallas Cowboys report on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, of course. And we're actually in Lubbock right now for pro days tomorrow.
Okay, you're in Lubbock for the pro days for what, Texas Tech.
Yes, sir.
Okay, shoot. Well, let me know a couple names that you're gonna be looking at. Who the Cowboys should be looking at the pro day, since you're gonna be.
Well, I think that one of these players are going to slide down, whether it be uh, Carmelo Height or Jacob Rodriguez. I don't know. David Bailey's going to go probably early, so he'll probably go in the top 7 at least, I think. So unless we trade down with Cleveland and switch out with Cleveland or the Cardinals, we probably won't get him. But that doesn't mean we can't get Lee Hunter, who's also very good. He's their defensive tackle, and they've also got a couple of good offensive weapons. Um, what is that running back's name for
I forget, but I know what you're talking
Dickey?
about.
Dickey, Cameron Dickey.
Yeah, Mike uses his son
Cameron
as
running back.
Mike uses his son as his like Wikipedia. So whenever he looks to the side and asks a question, he's talking to his son.
But
But yeah, I'm
That's his
excited
private.
about
That's
it.
his
yeah,
I don't
little
know.
private. Go
but
ahead.
nah, Mike, hey, Mike, where you need to be at though, man, because Texas Tech got a lot of prospects that everybody likes. You know, like he was mentioning, David Bailey is the hot name. He probably is like the best pure pass rusher, in the draft in terms of athleticism, explosiveness, and production. Some people would say like Messador, and he do got a bag, but Messador is older, has an injury history. That's why he's more looked at as a bottom first round guy, and David Bailey could very well go number 2 overall. Like people
Jeez.
aren't really talking about it, but the Jets got a second round, got the second overall pick and the 16th overall pick. And there's not a quarterback in this draft that's technically better than David Bailey. So Mendoza probably gonna go number 1 to the Raiders, and a lot of people have Orville Reese, mocked to the Jets at number 2. Who's to say that David Bailey isn't the pick at number 2? Because nobody really knows how this shit goes. The only draft pick you could pencil in really is Mendoza to the Raiders because they needed a franchise quarterback, and he's probably the only franchise quarterback in this draft right here. So David
And you got
Bailey could
you
go as
got a
high as 2.
you got a lot of people saying that boy from Simpson from Florida, not Florida, from Alabama. I don't like Alabama's in the NFL though, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe he could be the guy to right that ship. But what are your thoughts on Simpson from Alabama?
He ain't gonna be a bad quarterback, but they're not gonna spend a second overall pick on Ty Simpson. He only got 1 year as a starter, and he did get hurt towards the end of the year, so his production dipped quite a bit. So if they really like Ty Simpson, they'll either wait till 16, their second first round pick, then draft him, or B, they might trade up with a team and from 16 to like a 12 with the Cowboys or 13 or some shit and secure his services. But they're not going to spend a second overall pick on Ty Simpson. Now, if they did, that'd be great for us because you got 2 quarterbacks that go that high that pushes more talent down to the bottom. So I would
Yeah,
love for them to do something stupid like draft Ty Simpson number 2 overall. I would love for them to do something like that and draft Ty Simpson number 2. But odds are it'll be David Bailey or Orville Reese going off the board that high, and then they'll spin back and get the quarterback at pick number 16. That's more likely and it makes more rational sense. Cause David Bailey ain't gonna be there if you don't get David Bailey immediately. Ty Simpson gonna be there.
Mm. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, I think the Jets really need a quarterback, don't they? They got
Yeah.
Gino, so that would be the team I think marked to get it. But don't they have 2 first-round picks?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that I was just saying. They got pick 2 and pick 16.
yeah, so they'll probably get him at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna tell you the Jets, if the Jets are trying to rewrite the one thing about the Jets, if they've always been real heavy on quarterbacks in the first round or defensive pass rushers, defensive like playmakers in the first round. So if you're the Jets, like I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Gino is going to be good enough for them for a year, kind of like what the Raiders thought Gino could be, good enough for them for a year. So they might actually wait till next year because from what I hear, next year's quarterback class is a little bit better than this year's quarterback class. Everybody's tanking for Eli's what was it, his nephew or that's his son?
Nephew.
That's his nephew. Everybody tanking for Eli's nephew or Peyton's nephew, whichever one you want to say at the time. But I think the Jets they have so many needs. They have so many needs that I could easily see them taking, that would be a win for them too, especially if both guys end up being halfway decent because you get a franchise defensive player, right there. And then you also get your franchise quarterback as you would hope. You know what I'm saying? Because the last two quarterbacks that the Jets drafted thinking that they were going to be franchise quarterbacks, both those dudes, Wilson and Geno Smith, be moving around the NFL. Zach Wilson, I thought he was out the league, to be honest with you, but I thought he was making movies or OnlyFans or something. You know what I'm saying? But he's still in the league. He's still a backup quarter. He's still being a backup quarterback for somebody out there. So praise God to him that he's still getting opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, let's talk about these Cowboys though. Let's talk about these Dallas Cowboys though. Let's talk about these Dallas Cowboys. And what I mean by Dallas Cowboys, that is what did the Dallas Cowboys do today? The Dallas Cowboys, I don't know if you guys heard, but it's the Dallas Cowboys. I was actually gonna make a video on this, and then I got into my mindset of like thinking like, man, is this worth making a video? Yes, it was. It was worth making a video. I just chose not to. The Dallas Cowboys did bring in Derion Hendricks, defensive cornerback. If I'm not mistaken, he played at Clemson. He's been in the league now going on 3 years. In 3 years, he's played 42 games. He's been in the league since 2002. He's played in 43 games so far, and he started 16. Career-wise, right now, he has 3 career interceptions, but he did have 2 that came last year. Last year, he played in 10 games. He played in 6 games, 7 games for the Seahawks, but then eventually was waived by the Seahawks, and then he was picked up by their divisional rivals, the Los Angeles Rams, who eventually released him too at the end of the season. Now he did like I said in 10 games last year, he did get 2 interceptions. So, and I'm pretty sure he was not a starter. So and in sparing moments and sparing times, it sounded like he came through for them. He definitely came through for them in certain moments. But I'm curious to know what are you guys' thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys? Bringing in Mr. Henderson and then Mr. Kendricks. I'm sorry, bringing in Mr. Kendricks, and then I don't like calling people this, but I called him a F and G, a freaking new guy. You know what I'm saying? A guy. You know what I'm saying? If there's someone out there that believes in this guy to convince me that he's not, please let me know. But Henny? What are your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys signing Mr. Darian Kendricks today?
Well, man, it's a depth signing. I'm not expecting much from him. But competition, breeds excellence. And there's guys at the back end of this roster, who probably don't need to be on the NFL team. So you can say what you want about, him, Darian Kendricks, as, being a full-time player or anything like that. But he was good enough to where 2 playoff teams utilized his skill set and his talents last year. Can the same shit be said for Traquette Webb Bridges? Can the same shit be said for Corey Ballantyne and motherfuckers like that? You can't. You know what I'm saying? So like in terms of adding a solid piece that has some experience, got some ball production, has a little bit of upside. I think it's a low risk move and add depth to your cornerback room, and it puts a fire on some of the guys on the back end because some of these guys don't need to make the team. Like it's just straight up, some of these guys did not deserve to be on this team last year, and hopefully when you keep adding people, and I'm pretty sure the Dallas Cowboys will draft a corner
Y'all can go
top
out there.
100 probably. Even if they don't get one of the corners, the marquee corners like Delane Mansour or Jermod McCoy or somebody like that, they
Grab
might
a
still be
football.
able to get Malik Muhammad from Texas in the top 100 in the third round or something like that. So guys like this, I think it just adds talent and adds experience to the back end of your roster. Because I still think the Dallas Cowboys are depending on the run blend. I think they're depending on Revel. I think that they really do, like Kobe Durant, because he was a starter, 17, started all 17 games last year. A lot of ball production, a lot of big games he's played. So I think anybody that's not of a ilk like that ain't been starting and stuff, they're just going to be depth. And I look at him as that right now.
Okay, Mike, what's your thoughts?
Well, he played for Georgia, and so the Georgia runs a 3-4 scheme, and so do the Rams and the Seahawks. So he knows how to run in Christian Parker's scheme, and so he'll be able to come in right away and know the system and know what Nick Fangio runs, and I think that'll be a plus for him. And whenever I watch the tape on the guy, he's very aware. He knows how to look at the quarterback and bait him to throwing the ball. And he almost had a couple interceptions that could have been pick sixes, but he dropped the ball. I guess he got excited or something and, dropped a couple interceptions that he could have got. But I think it's a 1 year prove it deal. And with a lot of upside, like you said, low risk, high reward.
Yeah, I mean, in you guys' opinion, does this stop the Cowboys from doing anything that they're going to do in the draft or even in further free agency? I mean, if I had to answer the question myself, I think the Cowboys, the picks that they've been bringing in, have been getting. I mean, none of these guys were like kind of guys that would be able to drop their name in and say, "Oh my God, I know who that is." None of those guys have that type of make or build to them. But I was gonna say that I think guys like this kind of signifies that the Dallas Cowboys are probably at the end of their free agency. Their free agency is definitely
Well,
starting to come to an end.
Well, he was a starter, but I think the injuries what set him back. Kind of like with Overshown, he tore out his ACL, I think, in 2023 or 24 or something like that, and that's what set him
2024.
back. Yeah,
He missed a
yeah.
whole year in
So I think
2024.
yes, sir. So he's one of those players, kind of like Overshown, who has a lot of talent, but the injuries set him back. So we'll see how he does this year.
Yeah,
Kenny,
and listen, honestly, let's be 1,000. There's no guarantee a motherfucker like him makes the team.
yeah,
Let's also just throw that out there. Like he should be able to push some of these other guys off a cliff, on the back end of the roster. But let's say he can't. Like stuff like that happens, man. Like he may not even make the team. Like when we when
Yeah, I
we talk
think
about
it'll be
when we talk
between him
about
and
real,
Josh Butler.
say what now?
I think it'll be between like him and Josh Butler to make the team. He might be a practice squad guy, or if he beats out like Josh Butler and number 21, then he might be. But other than that, yeah, like you said, he might not even make the team.
Yeah, damn sure Bridges. Like if anybody ain't gonna make the team, it should be Bridges. I'm picking on Weezy ass because listen, when you talk about pedigree, Weezy was a 7th round pick, didn't even make the team that drafted him. The
yep.
team that drafted him took a chance on his ass to even want him, and we up here, trying to be Captain Save a hole, trying to save people careers and stuff. Nah, man, like we need better product at the cornerback position. And listen, there's not a player on this team that stops me from drafting one of these top
Anybody.
corners. Yeah, like Mansoor the Lane. If you there, you can come on down. Jamad McCord, I don't give a damn about no ACL. You bring your ass down here because when you healthy, you got the best tape of any of these corners. Even if you don't go top shelf corner, Malik Muhammad probably better than most of the guys we got. You know what I'm saying? Out of Texas, Colton Hood, Avion Terrell. Like this is not a bad corner class. If you need defensive backs, this is not a bad class to want or need a defensive back in. So listen, don't miss out on your blessings. Just because you went to the flea market, you went to the flea market and you found you some old Coogee. That's cool. You can bust that out. Once in a blue moon. Still take your ass down there to the mall and get you some polo. Get you some Lacoste. Get you some Burberry. You still got to update your wardrobe, man. That stuff you got at the thrift store ain't stopping nothing.
Yeah, I mean, but I know
Yeah.
one thing about our cornerback room is everybody in our cornerback room currently has, except for Mr. Cordy, they all have some type of injury history. You know what I'm saying? So it's like even if you did feel good about these corners that we brought in or the corners that we had, like none of these guys played 17 games last year. So it's like to a degree, the Dallas Cowboys kind of need as many corners as they possibly can get because you don't know who's going to be healthy or who's not going to be healthy. I mean, so it's like, I almost feel like the Cowboys are getting a lot of insurance for their insurance. You know what I'm saying? And then, even the top corners that are available right now in the draft, some of those guys still even have injury history. You know what I'm saying? So injury, is definitely gonna just have to be something that you kind of adapt to and understand versus like it being something that you're trying to like find players who have never been injured. That's just not happening in 2026 anymore, especially with the football game being more violent and being faster. Like it's just not happening. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna have some type of injury history of something that they've dealt with. But now instead of the
Hey,
Dallas
Wes, can I add something to that? I don't even mean to cut you off,
shoot, no,
but
go ahead.
this the crazy thing about it. All the motherfuckers on your team right now that got an injury history, they ain't have no injury problems coming out of college. If you go look at the Morgan Overshawn, he was not a hurt guy coming out of Texas. He only had missed like one game or some shit like that. I went and looked. Same thing when it comes to what's my boy Deron Bland. Deron Bland didn't have no injury history. So like most of these guys that have been made of glass for us, since they've been here in Dallas, they didn't have no injury red flags. Like that came out of nowhere. And then you have guys that did have injury problems. They come to the NFL and be healthy. So like that shit a crapshoot. Like I'm just picking guys based on the film and the production. If you had good tape and you had good production, I don't care about that. We'll figure it out. Cause there's no way to guarantee you stay healthy in the kind of sport that we play.
Yeah. And that's a really good point too. That's a really good point. But it also makes me believe that some of these guys are just playing flat out of position. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that the Dallas Cowboys have a Demarion Overshawn taking on is probably not the same things that Texas had him taking on. You know what I'm saying? Mike, your camera's the wrong way. There's some things that he's just flat out not having to do.
No,
So it's
he's
like,
showing us the view, bro.
That's
oh,
where
he's
the
showing us
pro
the
day
view.
is
Okay,
going
okay.
to be tomorrow. That's the pro day where it's going to be tomorrow. This is Texas Tech Stadium.
Oh, okay. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be
showing
outside
you.
or inside.
At the stadium.
It's going to be inside the facility. They just built this new facility. See this walkway right here? But that's the stadium right here, and then there's the walkway where the facility is.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
dope.
Yeah.
All right, get us some
So
get some good film. Are you get some good film tomorrow? Some good content tomorrow.
for sure.
Um, yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like some of these guys just flat out are taking on more tasks in the NFL that they weren't taking on in college. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's leading to some of these injuries. Like I'm pretty sure Deron Bland as a corner at Fresno was not required to tackle as much as he's tackling in the NFL. Not saying that that's the reason why he's getting injured at the same time, at the same token as well either. But at the same, I think that there's more things that you're taking on. Like this is a harder conference. The NFL is definitely a harder overall conference than what he was playing with when he was playing in the I forget what conference Fresno's in. I think it's Mountain West or something like that.
I feel it. Now
But
you just saying like they going up against bigger, stronger,
No, I'm saying
competition.
but I'm just also saying that the requirement, like the Dallas Cowboys love taking guys and putting them in like positions that they're not naturally naturally doing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I'm curious to know what was Texas having Overshawn doing that was allowing him to be such an explosive player and still make plays, but still stay healthy at the same time. But then you come into the NFL, and I'm like, what is the NFL requiring you to do that's not allowing you to like Overshawn's only played 19 games. That's pretty damn noticeable in 3 years.
Yeah,
I give
and
over.
I'll say this though, like let's be frank. There's times in college you're going to play people that aren't NFL caliber players.
Facts.
Like there gonna be motherfuckers on your schedule from a school that you have to pay to play. Like they so underneath you talent wise, you paid them a couple $1 million so they can line up and take that ass whooping. Let's just keep it real. Like shit, what kind of effort and wear and tear he taking on whooping up on a damn truck driver? This motherfucker gonna lead the field and get on the podcast and talk about the shit. These motherfuckers were only fan niggas and shit. Like, come on, man. Like that's probably the difference, dog. Like there's gonna be multiple games in there where you got multiple bye weeks in college, basically, especially when you play at a big program like Texas. Like you gonna have them motherfuckers way beneath your weight class that you beat up on throughout the course of the year. Then you have a couple games where you play people on equal footing with you. NFL, everybody was that dude you played. That tackle you
Everybody.
played, he was an award-winning tackle at college, at whatever university he was. This boy a former 10 overall pick. This motherfucker make $40 million. Like for real. Like that's just what it is. Like everybody was that guy that you played in the NFL. Even people that we don't think highly of, they was that guy. They superb athletes. So I understand what you're saying, but like at the same token, like when you talk about some of these guys coming out, they didn't really have a hassle week in and week out, and they played less games in college. They played less games in college than they did at the NFL level, and a handful of them games like you ain't playing nobody.
Yeah, so the competition level is just more strenuous. You playing 17 guaranteed games in the season, and then I mean, a guy like Overshawn's not playing in the preseason, but you still 17 games is about as they play 11 games plus a bowl game. If you make it to the tournament, if you make it to the national championship, you're gonna play an additional three more games, so you play no more than 14 games in the NFL season. I mean, in a college season, in the NFL season alone, you playing 17 games. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you, man. Like, players, every team has the exact same issue that we're having with injuries. It's just that we're just talking about our team. And it always feels like everybody has the same car when you buy that car. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because now you're gonna pay attention to it more. You know what I'm saying? But across the board, across the league, everybody has injury issues. Like that, it's just something unavoidable. But I'm gonna tell you something that the Cowboys tend to do that other teams don't do is like I think if Demarion Overshawn was on another team, I'm not saying he wouldn't be on that team anymore, but I feel like this hope of him coming and being the savior of your defense or being this perennial player off of the type of injuries, I don't think that would be there for other fan bases, but it's definitely there for Dallas Cowboy fan base.
Yeah, and listen, I like Overshawn, but me and Land came up with a term. Shout out to my brother Landlord, man. That motherfucker a part-time player. I don't know what he does the rest of the time when he ain't playing football. He might be driving Uber. He might be doing DoorDash. He might be doing something different. But he don't hardly play no football. To your point, Wes, so you said it's like 19 games in a 3 year span. Because we know he ain't played a single game his rookie year. He played 13 or 14 games his second year. And then this year he played 6 games. He played 6 games
Yeah,
this year.
6 games.
So yeah, so what are we basing this on? And I am somebody that believes, when Overshawn plays, he plays good. But when you hardly fucking play, you know, because let's do some simple math. What's 17 times 3, everybody? Take out your calculators. What's 17 times 3?
51, I think.
You are correct. There was 51 possible games that DeMarvin Overshawn could have played in. He only played 19. He's missed 32 games in 3 years.
That means you don't really know who he is as a player.
You don't know this nigga. He's played. He ain't played
Anything
two
that you're
seasons
talking
worth of
about
games yet.
anything you're talking about Overshawn, whenever you close your eyes and you think about Overshawn, you see him in a burnt orange jersey. I promise you, you do. I promise you, you do. If you think about great plays from Overshawn, I promise you, you close your eyes, all those plays are in burnt orange jerseys. Because a lot of people, I believe, will allow his college tape and his college film and the things he did in college to kind of understand what he's going to be. But listen to me, man. And I hate to say this, but like, what if this is like, I hope it's not. I really do hope it's not. But what if this is just what it is? You know what I mean? Like, what if this is just what it is? Like, you got guys like Bo Jackson that, after they got injured, like it just wasn't they were not the same guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. Now, obviously, the medical staff and things are better now. So I'm just using this as a wild example, but it's still very valid. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes we have high expectations of what we believe a guy should be, and we never temper those expectations after injury or after anything. We just assume that he's going to come back and be the same guy. Like we're literally asking for Overshawn to come back and be as dynamic as a player as he was when he was healthy. And to be honest with you, there's never been a chance where he's been healthy. So him playing 17 games, you betting that he's going to play 17 games, that's not even a bet I would take.
Hell nah. Especially like with some major shit in my life. I wouldn't put my life on that. Like that's not something you even bet on.
Yeah,
And
someone said
listen,
Jalen.
I was
Someone
gonna
said,
respond to that. I was gonna say that yeah, Jalen was hurt, but he played. Outside
yeah,
of his rookie year where
he
they
ain't
knew
missed
he was
no
on the red
games.
shirt, he played.
He ain't missed no games. So yeah, I know people like taking shots at Jalen Smith just because I think people they had very high expectations of him. You know what I'm saying? And I think he met those expectations at time. But I also believe that he was the only person making tackles on a defense that nobody was making tackles on. That's how you get 140, 153 tackles in 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying? Cowboys had no defensive tackles at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell we was doing at defensive tackle. Well, they had the little homie. They had the little homie Antoine Woods, smallest defensive tackle in football. We had him for 3 years. And I loved Antoine Woods because he was the homie until he retired. And I realized, God damn, he was that small. Yeah, he was that small. He was that
Mm-hmm.
small. You know what I'm saying? Deacon, let's read some of these comments. Someone said the Chargers gave up on Drew
Drew
Brees
Brees
because
because of injury history early in his career. Then he had an awesome career in New Orleans. I mean, listen, we're not saying that it's impossible. We just talk about what's going on right now. As of right now, until he has that turnaround, we can only discuss, what's going on. And I pray that happens for the Morian Overshawn. Because that means, if he's able to stay healthy and play well and have a great career, that's good for the Dallas Cowboys. And I always want good shit for the Dallas Cowboys. But as we deal with facts and reality at this moment of time, as of the date of March the 25th, 2026, this nigga don't play football enough for me to be, to be having these expectations for him. Like if you're just building off of his reputation and what he's done so far, he's somebody that's gonna miss a lot of football games, and if he plays, he'll play well, but he's going to miss a lot of football games, and that's who he is up to this point. Can that change? Can DeMarvin Overshawn go on and have a great career? Where he plays majority of the games and he makes Pro Bowls and All Pro nods and he stays on the field. Sure, it's possible, but I got to see it first before I'm out here depending on him. I can only judge you off what you've done so far, your current body of work. Your current body of work says that you are probably going to miss most of the season.
and think about this. Think about this because I didn't even want to make this the Overshawn show, but hey, let's talk about it. It's freaking March. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? My question is this, man. Demarion Overshawn goes out there and he balls his butt off. I mean, he just dominates, bro. He gets 13 sacks on the season. He plays 17 games. I don't think that's gonna happen, but he plays 17 games plus however games the Cowboys are in the playoffs. Oh my God. Guess what happens? Free agency happens, and now he's a free agent. What do you guys do? Are you
That
because
is a very good question.
because he is literally on a 1 year deal this year. So my
Contract
question
year.
is, this is a contract year. So guess what? You can listen to me. Demarion Overshawn, unless his leg literally falls off his body, he is going to try to play all 17 games regardless. He playing all 17 games this season because he
He
got to
gonna
get
try.
paid and his agent got to get paid, right? This is what they've been waiting for, right? This is part of the reason why he didn't come back last year because he want to make sure that this season set up right, nice and right? But my question is this: what do you do then?
I have no earthly idea. Now that's the thing. It depends on the deal, Andrew. If he take a team friendly deal, the Dallas Cowboys going to run up there and give him a team friendly deal because they love giving people them "I believe in you" ass deals. They gave Michael Gallup a contract, and his damn knee hasn't even healed yet. He still was recovering from his ACL surgery when he signed his deal. That motherfucker didn't ain't had did no running or nothing yet. They gave Tony Pollard a franchise tag, and his leg was still broken. So when it comes down to paying hurt people, and you can get them at a decent deal, they'll do that. I don't know if they should do it, but they'll do that.
Yeah, and just as some context, the Dallas Cowboys gave Tony Romo his first $100 million contract, and he was injured. And Jerry Jones, first thing he said about the contract is they did it based off faith,
I believe in you.
because Jerry believed in him. You know what I'm saying? Not
Hey, the
even that they
bishop in the
believed it.
building too, man. Shout out to the bishop. Shout out to Big
What's
Time
up?
Show.
The big time show and the Bills and the BIGZ. What's up with you, sir? I would have sent you the link too if you. I didn't know you was gonna be here. I can still send it to you if you want to slide in though.
Send it to
But
him.
yeah, man, I'll send them to him right now. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta go quick. Hold on.
But yeah, man, I got all kinds of love for the Marvin Overshawn. And folks be thinking when I be speaking on them like it's malice or nothing. I ain't got no malice for Overshawn. I like I liked him coming out of college. I liked him in 2024 when he actually did play a lot of games, double digit games. It's just the fact that I can't trust him. Like you can love something. It's just like with any relationship. You can love a person as much as you want to love them, but the
But you
moment that you
know him.
stop trusting them, that shit is over with.
Yep. And think about this: you can love someone. It's like your kids, man. You love your kids, but guess what? When you walk in the house and you see a big old puddle of Kool-Aid in the middle of the floor, you know exactly who did it. You want to know why? Because you know your kids.
You know
You know what I'm saying?
them.
You know 'em. So I love. You know what I'm saying? I know that wasn't my oldest son, but that was for sure my baby who did that. Why? Because I know him. I know him. Now, if I go to the table and I see color markers all over the table and markers is left all over, and then I see my VCR halfway taken apart, and then someone tried to put it back together, that was for sure my oldest son. That was for sure him. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I love them both, but I know them both too. So it's like,
Mhm.
and it's like I'm just as invested in Overshawn as the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because listen to me. The Dallas Cowboys literally have a whole draft class that's riding on him. They have a whole draft class that is literally riding on him. Because if Overshawn does not being somewhat decent of a football player, bro, you literally watched a whole draft class just leave your entire building, and you're not gonna re-sign none of them dudes because Shoemaker is on the team, but he's not getting nothing from the Dallas Cowboys.
Exactly.
He not getting anything. Mike, what's your thoughts on Overshawn? Is he still there? There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
What are your thoughts on Demario?
My thoughts on
Yes.
so Overshawn, man, dude. Like when he first came in the league, he was an animal, and he's worked really hard to get back to where he is. And if he can stay healthy and be what he used to be, it usually takes a couple years to recover from a knee like that. So last year he was able to play, but he wasn't full 100%. So I think this year he'll play better.
So my
Or that's
question
the
And if
hope.
he can
to
stay
you,
healthy,
Mike,
he'll be
on
a,
a scale
if he can stay
of
healthy,
one to
he'll be a
ten,
good back for us.
how sure are you that the Marvin Overshawn stays healthy?
I'm praying that he does, man. But if he
So that
doesn't,
Hold on, I can't
then
hear nothing.
we'll probably have to move on, man. Because If he hurts that knee again, that's pretty much the end of his career.
All right, there we go. Can you hear? Can you hear now, Lenny? I mean, Henny.
Yeah, I can hear it now. Yeah, I don't know what it was. My
Could y'all
volume
hear
had went
me?
out.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I hear you both now. It's on my end, probably, y'all. Y'all good?
Basically, what he was saying is like he's definitely praying that he's definitely praying that
Wait on
I mean,
it.
listen to me, man. If you believe in Jesus, you got it. Why not use him for? I mean, some people just use Jesus for their own problems. I use Jesus for everything, man. That's what my pop said. Use him for everything, man. So I
Hey,
call on
That's
the
believe
name of
my
God.
basically what
pops.
that's basically what Overshown was talking about during an interview last year. He was talking about how this was our God, that brought him back to this point, and God wouldn't bring him this far for him not to bring him through it. So I'm optimistic that he's going to be good this year. And if they
Yeah, I
pair him
mean,
up with Anthony Hill Jr., that'll be two Longhorns in the middle.
I feel that.
I, I mean, this the thing. I like Overshawn the person, but the player, I don't know. I haven't really seen enough body of work. Every time I see Overshawn, I see explosive plays, but I haven't seen enough consistent play from Overshawn. Mike, put you on speaker. Mute it. I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough from Overshawn to really say that I know him, the player, or even can like, cause like I see splash plays. You know what I mean? But you can't judge. I haven't seen enough consistent play from Overshawn to even understand what I'm getting from him. Because right now, like I feel like Overshawn's best asset is probably being an explosive edge rusher. But the Cowboys are going to be using him as looks like a middle linebacker, which is not. I mean, it'll definitely prolong his career. You know what I mean, it is definitely going to prolong. Not taking on if the defensive tackles do their job, it should definitely prolong his career. But I don't know what I'm going to be getting from him as a middle linebacker. Because in my opinion, Overshawn's the best trait from Overshawn is being explosive on the edges.
Mhm.
So right now, I don't even really know what. Because I mean, I know he's going to be a linebacker, but I don't really know what he's even going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to like put a expectation on him or an understanding because I don't know what he's gonna. I really don't know what he's gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? But yo, man, just to switch it up for a little bit, because one of the subjects that I did put on here is we're talking about that draft class, but I want to talk about this. I want to talk about man. I want to talk about this tight end room real quick if we could possibly, and then also my cousin sent me a couple things on the draft that he wanted to look at it real quick too. So we'll take a look at that too. But before we do that, I wanted to slide on about these tight ends, man, because I want to know, man, what are y'all thoughts on these tight ends, man? Because these Dallas Cowboys tight ends last year produced a, under 800 yards and under 10 touchdowns
Combined.
for between four dudes. Now, obviously, Jake Ferguson led with most of that with 600 yards, and he had 8 touchdowns on 104 catches last year, which is 104 catches to only have
Targets. He had
I mean,
82 catches.
82 catches. I mean, 104 targets on, and only amass 600 yards, but 82 catches to only get 600 yards. Unfortunately, fellas, it does sound like he underproduced last year.
I mean, yeah, and I think I said it on the morning show. I ain't rocking with this tight end room, man. And the same way I feel about the corner room, how there's not a single guy on the team that's gonna prevent me from drafting the tight end. Man, this is a very good tight end class. If you just sit back and you look at it, and you analyze it or whatnot. You got guys like Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. You got Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. You got Michael Trigg out of Baylor.
Yeah, Michael
There's a
Trigg is a beast.
yeah, I love Michael Trigg, man. I like listen. If Michael Trigg is on the board, in the third round, man, you pick him. You pick him, and you rejoice. I know that people were a little concerned because his vertical wasn't that high. I don't give a damn. His production speaks for itself. He gets open. He makes plays, and he can block. You know what I'm saying? Like that, he do all the things that you actually need to do as a tight end. So
He's a deep threat.
yeah, so I'm bringing him in, and guess what? You can. I keep saying it. You can get out of Jake Ferguson contract in 2027. Like you can cut Jake Ferguson and save money. The dead money won't be much of shit. And the cap savings will be to the point where it makes logical sense that you got a transcending upcoming tight end on your roster. You can go ahead and send his ass somewhere. And maybe you don't want to just flat out cut him. Maybe you want to trade him and try and get you a low pick back or something. But point being is like you don't have to be in a committed relationship to Jake Ferguson. You damn sure don't have to be putting a you ain't got to put a ring on Brevin Spanford. You already on the cusp of a divorce with Schoonmaker at this point. There's not a tight end that you give a damn about like that, bro. Let's be 1,000.
Schoonmaker's still only on this team because of the draft capital. That's it. Because of
Yep.
the second round pick that you put in him. Because when they when Helderberg, what's the boy name? When he
Hendershot.
left, when Hendershot left and went to Kansas City, I thought that Hendershot was a better tight end than Schoonmaker at that moment right there. But why did they allow Hendershot to leave? Because one, I think they thought they would be able to get him back. But two is because Luke, you put the second round pick into him. You know what I'm saying? And he has basically given you nothing. Like nothing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, part of the reason why they got rid of Hendershot, in my opinion, was so that you could basically clear room for Schoonmaker. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate when teams do that. You're supposed to throw these dudes in a pit with one fork and say whoever comes out alive is the guy who's gonna be the starter. That's how real competition is breed. You know what I'm saying? But when you kind of like give someone something, you never end up getting back what you thought you were gonna get back for doing that, because this is a competition-based league. This is a performance-based league. Everything that happens needs to be based on you competing and you winning and getting a spot.
Wholeheartedly agree with that, man. Wholeheartedly agree with it. And at this point, I'm underwhelmed. And I'm not no pocket watching ass dude, but if I'm not mistaken, is Jake Ferguson a top 10 paid tight end? He like a top 10 paid tight end, ain't he?
At what he's making, I would assume, because the tight end position it's such a cheap position for what they do. I ain't gonna lie. I would almost assume he is.
I'm
And
finna find out.
if he's not top 10, I would think he's at least top like 12 or 13. He's not far back,
He's
because
top
when he got
10. Let me see.
yeah, because when he got paid, he was like a top 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Uh he's the eighth highest paid tight end in the National Football League. Jake Ferguson currently makes more money. Let me tell you the names of the players that he makes more money than. Travis Kelsey, TJ Hawkinson, Dawson Knox, Hunter
Wow.
Henry,
Mm.
Dallas Goddard. Like he made more money than motherfuckers like that.
And these are all guys that we would take over him.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So this my thing, man. He got top 10 paid tight end, but he didn't give you. I don't think he give you top 10 production from the tight end spot. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't tripping
And
on it.
yeah, and think about this. Whenever you hear about a guy being paid top 10 in the NFL at any position, you would like to think he's one of the better guys at that position. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a top 10 running back in the league, you're probably one of the better one of the better running backs in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? If you're
Hmm.
a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, then guess what? Everybody assumes that you're a playoff caliber, Super Bowl caliber type of team, because you have a top 10 quarterback. You have a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. People are under the assumption that that you have a pretty decent offense and that your offense is good. Bro, if you're a top 10 tight end out of those names, it should give you that same mindset. But Jake Ferguson does not. So it simply lets you know that the Dallas Cowboys reached. They reached. They reached with this pay. When they paid Jake Ferguson, they were paying him for what they hoped he was going to be and not what he currently was. Because it's like the way they did Jake Ferguson is the way they should do all these other positions. Like all these other guys where they wait and see, or honestly, like to be honest with you, they should have did Jake Ferguson the same way they did Schultz. Like, why they didn't do Jake? Like, I don't understand what Jake Ferguson did to them to make them believe, because Jake Ferguson was one of the few guys that I've seen in the last 5 years who got paid before his contract actually expired. Like, they actually wanted Jake Ferguson. Like, they wanted him. You know what I'm saying? Because they made Dak pay out his entire contract. They made freaking George Pickens pay out the contract. But they ain't make Jake Ferguson. They made CeeDee Lamb. Did CeeDee Lamb get extended?
Yeah, he got extended, but
But still, you
he
don't
had to
put him in
hold
the same
out.
category. Yeah, he had to hold out. You know, and Jake didn't have to do none of that. He didn't have to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? We got the big time show sliding in for a bit. What's up with your big time show?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me good? I'm
Yeah,
driving.
Perfectly fine, brother. How you living?
Man, what's up, Henny? What's going on? What's going on to the other brother that's on here? What's he
Mike.
go by? I ain't never seen him before. Who is he?
that's Mike. He lost connection for a little bit, so he actually not on right now. The only people that's on right now
Oh,
is
okay.
Henny, and you.
All right. Yeah, what's going on? Good to hear everybody. Good to see everybody. Don't want to take up too much time. I'm just falling in. I'm driving there. I'm caught up in a gigantic traffic jam. I said I might as well jump on now.
Oh yeah, no doubt, my brother.
Well,
Well,
What
man,
y'all
while
hey,
you on
talking
here,
about? What?
talking about we talking about this crazy tight end room and the lack thereof.
Well, that's a good place to start. I believe since all the heavy, mostly everybody would talk about, okay, let's strengthen this defense, which is right. But I'm kind of on the other side of it slightly. I'm quite sure that we need to do defense, but if we're not gonna get who we need, then why not strengthen your strength? The strength of this team is the offense. Instead of scoring 27, 28 points a game, shoot, you give Dak Prescott another weapon as a tight end. I mean, I think Jake underperformed last year compared to his other years, a couple years before. I obviously believe that's the case. The second tight end Schoonmaker, they done put too much into him, and he has not produced at all since he walked in the door. They wouldn't give Brevin Spann-Ford a real opportunity, but it looked like every time he did do something, it was good. Maybe they need to increase his role. He was somewhat of definitely a great block, and he could catch the ball. But if you're gonna draft somebody, man, go ahead and get Dak another weapon. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't stop nobody, which I believe we will, why not make sure this offense is unstoppable as possible? Giving him another weapon would be great, as far as I'm concerned. So that's the way I feel about it. But you're right, Wes. You said the lack of thereof. That's just the truth. If you had a real tight end that was a threat down the field, just imagine how potent this offense would be even more. So I'm with it.
yeah, and you got to think about it. If we are able to keep George Pickens here, the middle of the field gonna be wide open. They're gonna be worried about CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They ain't gonna be studying no tight end, even if the tight end is
Yeah.
dope. And that's why I'm disappointed in Jake Ferguson, because
Facts.
Yeah.
all that bracket coverage they're giving to CD Lamb, all that double coverage they're giving to George Pickens, all these umbrella coverages, all this cover 4, all this cover 2, and you can't take advantage of that middle of the field. You got
Yeah,
600 yards for all that, and they ain't trying to game plan
And
for you.
and I'm gonna tell you
and he
something,
was one
man.
he was 1-on-1 too. Let me throw that in.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that, like, man, Ferguson does not look like the explosive guy that he was his rookie year, man. He does not look like that. Like, like, like when Ferguson first came on the scene, folks was calling him damn near white chocolate and White Iverson almost. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the swag and the boy moved. But when you really go look at his stats, man, Ferguson is catching the ball and falling down, dog. He
There's
is
no
catching
run
the
after the
ball.
catch.
Nothing, bro. He is giving you nothing. Nothing. That boy is catching the ball and falling down. Like
Well, how
he's
many
giving you
receptions he had?
nothing.
Then he had about what 82 or 83 receptions last year, but he only had about 600 yards or something like that. I mean, he caught the ball, but you didn't get nowhere. That's the way I look at it. So we could
Yeah,
be
and
better in that room. Put it that way.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this right here. In 2026, you just can't be like, oh, he's a blocking tight end. That's not good enough, dog. Tight ends are doing way too much in 2026. If you just have a tight end that can block really good, your tight end's not good, bro. Like that's just being real. Because you could literally have, and then it's like for the type of money that you're spending on him, like at you being a top 10 paid player at your position, that means they believe that you can change the course of a game with plays. And then someone also mentioned this. I actually said this too on one of my lives, that like whatever happened to that play that like, you know, the little seam route that the Cowboys always did. Dak loves doing that little seam route across the, you know, right up the seam to the tight ends to get the little easy touchdown. It's like we're not even really getting those no more. You know what I'm
No, because
saying?
you can't get separate. You can't get separation. Now, I know he was injured, and maybe he had such a lingering injury that maybe that probably kind of held him up. Maybe that's the case, but you're right about that. That pass play was not there because really there wasn't no real separation there. So that play was gone.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you one thing about separation, man. If you can't get it against no linebackers, bro, come on, dog. This may not be
Exactly.
for you. This may not be for
Exactly.
you, dog. And listen, like
Exactly.
I don't listen. I feel like Jake Ferguson would be a dope number 2, but he's just not enough to be a number 1 tight end. And the Cowboys are paying him like he's a number 1 tight end. And I'm gonna tell you something that I don't like. Most importantly, I don't like the glazing that and the looking over that he's able to get that other guys can't get. Like, bro, if there was somebody like there's nobody. I think right now his contract is probably the biggest eyesore on the Dallas Cowboys right now. Because the only thing you don't like about Derion Bland is he's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like that, you know what I'm saying? When Derion Bland is healthy, he's pretty much spot on. You know what I'm saying? When, you know, I know everybody get mad when I say his name, but Donovan Wilson. When Donovan Wilson's healthy, he better than he's not saying he's spot on, but I think he's giving you more than what Jake Ferguson is giving you for what he's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that's the only thing that that's the only thing I don't like about it. I don't like the pass that he's getting. Like I don't like the pass that the whole wide receiver room is getting. I mean the whole tight end room, because our whole tight end room is not good. Like it's not.
Also, hey, let me just throw this out there. There was 3 players on the Dallas Cowboys that had 100 targets. George Pickens had 137. CeeDee Lamb had 117. Jake Ferguson had 102.
It's only 15 passes left, less than CeeDee Lamb.
Ryan Flournoy, who was explosive, only had 56 targets.
And he had 475 yards.
And that's the thing. He had almost 50 less targets than Jake Ferguson, and he still only had 125 less yards.
What's up, talking Cowboy sports? I see you. Yeah,
What's up,
man. And
talking Cowboys?
I know people gonna say, yeah, but he's a wide receiver, da 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 da. But you got to remember, tight ends are making plays on linebackers, middle linebackers. So if he's not getting that,
Safeties.
and safeties, if he's not getting separation from those, like that's part of the reason why. If that's the case, Jason Witten could still be playing right now. I mean, you mad Jason Witten could, because he's basically doing what Witten do. He's catching the ball and he's falling down. Like part of the reason why y'all wanted to get rid of Jason Witten is because what? There was no more separation there. You know what I'm saying? He's catching the ball and going down. This if he ain't already at the first down, he's not getting it. And to be honest with you, that's my mindset right now with Jake Ferguson. And I'm gonna just tell you, with Dak Prescott going in a season where he's making $60 million, man, I think you should be doing your absolute best to at least put him in the position so that he can get all from Dak Prescott. It's not about just giving him all the weapons, because I'm gonna tell you this one thing. One person that nobody has a problem with getting all the weapons is Patrick Mahomes. I have no problems with Patrick Mahomes getting all the weapons. Y'all have no problem with him getting a Super Bowl MVP. Y'all have no problem with his tight end not retiring and getting a 3-year deal at 34 years old. Y'all have no problem with him getting Justin Fields as his backup. They have no problem for Patrick Mahomes. But Dak Prescott, oh yeah, everybody got a problem when he needs help, or when it's identified that his offense or something could be better if we added more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Something like Vicky says, Ferguson. Well, it's the obvious reasons they like him because Deacon says Dak was trying to keep 2 number 1 receivers happy last year. I can imagine that a bulk of Jake's yards came when CD was hurt. One thing about Dak Prescott is not the type of receiver that not the type of quarterback that favors anybody. If you're open, he's gonna give you the ball. And I think that's a reason why a guy like Pickens was even, because remember, Pickens didn't just blow up when CeeDee Lamb went down for 4 games. Pickens was already having a pretty decent season when CeeDee Lamb was on the field. And when CeeDee Lamb came back, he still had a pretty decent season. You wanna know why? Because Dak is gonna get the ball who he thinks can make plays. Dak is
Mm-hmm.
Dak is never just overly targeted one guy. Even when he came into the league with Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant was his number 1 receiver, he said that Dez will get the ball when Dez is open. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Told him as a
So
rookie.
he
And
told him that as
even further on that, cause we know Dak loves to throw the tight ends.
he
He
loves
loves to
throwing the
throw
ball
the
to the
tight ends.
he loves throwing the ball to the tight ends. That's why you got guys like Schultz that made money. That's why you got guys like what's the other boy before
Blake
Schultz?
Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin, who made money. And then you had the other dude before Jared Goff. Not Jared Goff, but Goff Swain. Goff Swain. He made some money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shit,
if you
Jake
know
Ferguson. We talk about Jake Ferguson contract right now.
exactly, he got Dak gets tight ends paid. Like, he for sure will get, if it's one position group, Dak Prescott's gonna get paid. That's the goddamn the tight end room. And as I was saying, man, it's not matriculating with him. Everybody else, every other tight end that's had a bulk of time with Dak has had really good careers with Dak. Like, they've actually had better seasons with Dak than they probably had with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Look at Schultz right now. Schultz is doing fairly well with CJ Stroud, but I'm pretty sure he missed them touchdowns from Dak Prescott.
Shit, Dalton Schultz had an 800+ yard season with Dak Prescott. Nigga
Yeah.
don't even talk about it. Like, there's a reason why, they look to him like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why he can go out there and get it.
Hey, what was these pictures that you sent me? I wanted to go over them real quick. What was they talking about? I know this is the top. This is Mel Brooks, top 5 receivers. You got Jordan Tyson. You got
Cornell Tate, Chris
Cornell Tate,
Brazile.
Chris Brazile, Malachi Fields, and Denzel. Malachi Fields, is he not the guy? Didn't we have a 50-50, a 30-30 visit with him? I
I
feel
have
like
no
that name.
idea. I know it sounds very familiar. It seemed very familiar. We must have did something with him. I'm gonna Google that in a little bit. But so I had a quick question. And I know we're getting long on time and stuff, but let's say, because we were talking about the draft and how it falls. Let's say all the defensive people that you really like are gone. How would you feel about drafting a wide receiver at 12?
I mean, if it's the best available position, then you supposed to do it. You should do it. But I mean, my question is this: is the running back room is Love? If Love is, I mean, everybody's saying I don't know if Love is gonna go top 5 pick. I don't know, because I don't know if the NFL loves running backs like that. I think he's a top 5 talent, but I don't know if NFL loves running backs like that. When was the last time a running back went top 5 in the draft here lately? Did a one go top 5 last year?
I think so. I don't know where Ashley Gentry went, because you remember he went before us, so one went in the top 10. So it's not really about 5. It's just like, for me, I would draft. Listen, I would draft Love if he was there, but they still drafting running backs in the top 10. They do that a lot still.
Okay, so if no team drafts, I think Genty was in his own little sphere though, because the dude was a Heisman Trophy damn near winner. He basically ran Boise into the damn championship game. He was everything for Boise. Jeremiah Love, I don't think he's viewed I don't think player. Do you think they view him the same way they view Genty?
They they view yeah they view him as a similar prospect.
Okay. Okay. He just don't have the accolades coming out of college like him do.
Well,
Well,
you
this
know
the
he
thing. If
I don't know if he finished as a Heisman finalist, but I know that he, All American, All Conference. Know he helped run his team to a national championship game and shit. So it's a similar career trajectory, honestly.
okay. Well, I mean, if Jeremiah Love is there, if he's there, I would take him over. I would take that position over the wide receiver. Um, but I mean, it'd be crazy, man. Because I mean, I mean, I don't know, man. I think if a wide receiver was there, and as you know what's crazy, a wide receiver is going to be there. Like one of the top 5 receivers, you can almost guarantee is going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys are going to have to make, that decision. This is why I don't mind. I don't know about receiver, but this is why I don't mind drafting a offensive player at 12 or even at 20 is because if you draft 2 defensive players and they're both really good 4 years from now, I don't believe the Cowboys will re-sign both of them. The Dallas Cowboys favor offense more than they favor defense. So I believe if you draft 2 defensive players in the first round, at least one of those guys is not going to be on our team in the next 4 years. Because my question is this: if you drafted Micah Parsons at 12, what was you expecting Micah Parsons to be? Micah Parsons. Okay, well, when Micah Parsons was Micah Parsons, did he get paid or did he get used like Micah Parsons? No, he did not. So then my question is, what more? What more could a dude do to get the Dallas Cowboys to come here and you know what I mean? And the Dallas Cowboys, listen to me. We'll never have a guy that has like 20 sacks because I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will ever let a guy sit on the field long enough to do that. Like that's part of the reason why Micah Parsons never hit those high numbers. I think Micah Parsons could have? Hell yeah, I believe he could have. He was healthy the whole time. But I also believe that part of the reason why the Dallas Cowboys kind of stagged his stats down is because they never wanted him to be looked at in that position as like a Myles Garrett because they didn't want to pay him what the Packers ultimately ended up paying him anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's why I believe for a future tense and for what my team futurely does in the future, that's why I believe futurely wise, it's better for the Cowboys to draft and at least split one of those picks and use it on offense. Because if it's an offensive player, I can almost guarantee for sure he'll be on our team still. Because the Cowboys shows love for offense. They don't do it for defense. The Cowboys draft 2 defensive players in the first round, bro. They'll probably, if they both end up being really good, when you draft this all world guy who ends up being the defensive end and he an edge rusher, he's getting 14, 15 sacks. He ends up being Micah Parsons, the new Micah Parsons that you let go. Okay, well then, damn. My question is this: do you end up paying him 5 years from now? Because if he's the best, every player's always gonna want to be paid and enumerated like he is what he is. And that's your agent's job. Agents don't get more clients by taking team friendly deals. That's not how agents get more clients. Agents get more clients based off like what you do for Micah Parsons. Because at the end of the day, these kids are all playing for teams that picked them. They're not paying for their favorite team. They're not playing for, you know what I'm saying? They're playing for the team that picked them. So yes, there's a really good chance that all these players will go play for somebody that's going to pay them more money.
True.
So go ahead.
No, I said it's true, and I say this though. I understand 1,000% what you're saying, but I'm also be very transparent. This is the last hurrah, my nigga. This is it. Like these last 3 years is all you got of Dak Prescott. I do not foresee them coming back to the table with Dak, and getting the deal done. Like the way that they did a whole interview about it. Todd France did. Todd France said, "Nigga, we were almost out the door this goddamn time." I do not believe. I do not believe that they're gonna come back to the table and get anything done. This is it. If they don't win right the fuck now, this might be a complete rebuild. Cause think about it, that gonna be in his mid-30s by then. He gonna be around the time where you actually see a quarterback slow down. So like by the time his contract over, like shit, I'm not even worried about it. I'm looking at the draft like, can these motherfuckers come in and play right now? Who is the most able-bodied nigga that can come in and give me production and help this team win and get over the hump immediately? Because at the end of the day, like, sure, they probably won't resign them niggas, but Dak Prescott won't be the reason why, because he ain't gonna be here. I'm trying to win right now. Why I got a quarterback, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I can almost guarantee you if the Cowboys don't win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years, then for sure, I don't for sure see them getting back at the table with Dak Prescott because
Ain't
not
no
even
point.
based, yeah, not even based on him. Like, I don't even really think it would be based on him. I think Dak Prescott continue to play at the level that he's playing, and even if it still gets done, I still think the Dallas Cowboys would end up going in a different direction simply because of the age factor and what they've already paid him. You know what I'm saying? I think the Dallas Cowboys have a certain number of what they're willing to play Dak over the course of his career. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get to that number, I think they will definitely be looking. I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys were looking next year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying necessarily like, because if you're going to get a quarterback to put him behind someone as their replacement, Dak is definitely the guy that you would want to do it with because he, from what it's seen, I don't know Dak personally. He might be a total asshole in regular life. But from what I've seen, Dak is the most, tolerant taking guy that you could probably put another guy behind and get some OJT, him teach him how to play the position while the guy low key tries to take his job. Now, do I think Dak will ever be put in a position where a guy will be able to put pressure on him to take his job? No, I don't believe so. You know what I'm saying? But I also believe that, there is a lot of, there are a lot of teams that would probably be interested in Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? If Aaron Rodgers is out here still slinging it like crack rock and he not playing well, then I don't see why Dak Prescott couldn't be doing it.
Hell yeah. And I'm not saying that Dak will be out the league or nothing. I'm saying Dak won't be in Dallas.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying too. That's
Hell
exactly what I'm
yeah.
saying too.
Hell yeah, exactly, bro. So we on the same wavelength because I'm not saying that's what I want. But if they don't win with Dak Prescott these next 3 years, most of everybody contracts will be expiring at that point. Like it'll be time, dog. So I get it. Can we trust the Dallas Cowboys to sign two defensive players when the time comes? Hell no, you can't trust them. We know these niggas. We know we can't trust them. But you know, when we go in here drafting, are them two defensive guys gonna be what it takes to compete and get back to the playoffs in 2026? Because all you can really ask for when you is to get to the dance. But once you get to the dance, you have as good of a chance as anybody else. Injuries happen. You get lucky bounces. You throw a game-stealing interception and the people drop it, like what happened with the 49ers and the Rams. People forget when Matthew Stafford won his Super Bowl, he almost threw a game-losing interception. He hit the safety right in his hands. He just dropped it, and they went on to have a game-winning drive and win the game. Like you could be like shit like that happens.
In the
So you
same
give
year
me an
where he led the
opportunity.
NFL. Yeah, in the same year where he led the NFL in interceptions. So he was already throwing the ball bad that year.
17. He threw 40 plus touchdowns, but yeah, he threw 17 interceptions. You're right. You're correct.
That's one interception per game.
He good for one.
Mm.
Look, real talk.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that's the only reason why I would. That's the only reason why I would. Like, if this was any other team, I would say go get your offense is good enough, handle that in free agency, and use these two picks to rebuild your defense. But since it's the Cowboys, and you got to kind of think like that. And you know what's gonna, and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna really really suck. Having Dak Prescott as your quarterback for the next 3 years. I'm gonna tell you, and this is you got to look at it this from the glass being half full, right? Dak Prescott is never gonna play so bad that you'll be a lottery pick. So
Correct.
you're always gonna be good enough to not be able to not get a top pick quarterback. Like, because in Dak's worst season where he's played all 17 games, he still won 7 games and got you pick 12.
And
Like Dak
guess
is
what?
never
It
he's
took a
never
historically bad defense for that to happen.
thank you. Because they were still putting up damn near 30 points. The only problem is the defense was giving up 33. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like Dak is still going to play well enough to keep you out of the top 10. So whenever you go get another quarterback, you're gonna have to kind of understand what you're doing. And let's just be real. The Dallas Cowboys, how did we get our last quarterbacks? The fourth round and undrafted, free agent. Bro, that does not sound like
Looked
you know what you're
into it.
doing, bro. You exactly. That does not sound like you know what you're doing, bro. That does not sound like you know what you're doing. The last time we drafted a quarterback in the first round was Troy Aikman, bro. And then think about the quarterbacks that they wanted to draft in the first round that they didn't. They wanted to
Paxton
draft
Lynch and Johnny Manziel.
Patch, Patrick Lynch, Johnny Manziel, and Johnny's my dog. But damn, bro, those names make me believe. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even want to trust the Cowboys with having to go into a draft and saying that we need a quarterback, bro. I do not because I have more. I'm more inclined that they would fail on it, bro.
I don't blame you.
Because picking the quarterback, I'm gonna be honest with you, picking the quarterback of the team, they're gonna be looking more on the things that are not on the football field versus the things that are on the football field. Because, bro, there's no reason why the Dallas Cowboys should have been interested in Paxton Lynch or Johnny Manziel. I get it, but because Johnny was looked at as that dude at the time. But
Hmm.
Paxton coming from Memphis, dog. Come on, man. He's not even in the league anymore.
He's been out the league forever at that point.
Quincy Carter was a second round pick, wasn't he?
I think so.
Out of
Let me
Georgia.
look. Now let me find out. Let me Google that. Cause they
I
might
think
be
we
right about Quincy, but let me check.
I think he was a second round pick. I think he was an early first round pick. I mean, an early second round pick. But hey, shout out to Pamela Ward with the $10 super holla. Appreciate you with the $10 super chat. You should have put some words on there. I could have read it out. For $10, I would have read it twice.
He was pick number 53, so he was a second round pick.
Yeah, he was a second round pick. The last time the Cowboys picked and guess what? Quincy, my dog, but he didn't work out either, man. He threw more. Quincy's the only quarterback in NFL history to take a team to the playoff while throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. He threw 21 touchdowns and 22 interceptions. Only quarterback to ever take a team to the playoffs with throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. So yeah, the Cowboys. If you look at our history of picking quarterbacks, we do not do good. Like if they honestly think that this is going to be the last hoorah of Dak, they need to start looking for him now. Like this year when we pick 3 times in the fifth round, one of them needs to be a quarterback. Like stop pick using the seventh round pick, bro. Ain't no seventh round pick coming in here and being no damn backup, being no quarterback, man. If you don't knock it off. Ain't nobody but they're not doing that. Hello?
It's Pam for the cash out too. I appreciate you, and you know they got you some raffle entries too, Miss Pam. So thank you. And if y'all want to be like Miss Pam and get an opportunity to win yourself a jersey, please make sure y'all hit that cash app and that super chat. $5 a pop, $5 holla. You send 20, I'll get you five instead of four. I'll get you five raffle entries. So salute to y'all.
Facts. I'm gonna read some of these comments before we get out of here. Vicky says Dallas has never had a successful black quarterback. Why? Cowboys have had it. They have a successful black quarterback right now. Like, but this is what I always tell people. What is your definition of success? Winning a Super Bowl? If your definition of success is only winning a Super Bowl, then we've only had one successful quarterback in the last 30 years, and that's Troy Aikman.
Right. Because Dak Prescott has been a rookie of the year. He's been a multi-time Pro Bowler. He's been an All Pro. He's been an MVP candidate. He
And he
has a
owns every record for a quarterback that a Dallas Cowboy, every record that a Dallas Cowboy quarterback owns is by Dak Prescott. Every
correct.
quarterback resting, completion, yards, touchdowns, interception ratio, he owns all of it.
He's also top 10 in NFL history in completion percentage, passer rating, and touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
it's like
successful from an individual standpoint. If you're saying team success, cool, you got us there. If you're talking about individually, and listen, we know as fans, it's easy for us to separate individuals from team because you know why? Because when you bring up Dez Bryant, you do not bring up wins and losses. Y'all just throw up the X. Y'all knew he was dope. Y'all don't do
facts.
that. Y'all don't do that with Zeke. You don't talk about with not Zeke and not winning shit. Y'all niggas just do the feed me. So have that same energy with the quarterback because at the end of the day, it's still a team game.
Facts. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a good point. And Dez got more touchdowns than any Dallas Cowboy quarterback. I mean, wide receiver or tight end. He got 73. Jason Witten has 72. So, and they definitely got to put some respect on Dez's name. So yeah, but I mean, but like I said, they've had some successful quarterbacks. But I mean, it's just like I said, and I'm gonna tell you, you can't. The Dak Prescott is one of the few quarterbacks that gets where team losses, he doesn't get credit for team wins, and he never gets credit for team. He always gets credit for team losses. So it's like I had a guy try to tell me that the Eagles had the worst defense in football the year they won the Super Bowl, and I called him a bold-faced lie without even looking at the stats. Like, bro, you a bold-faced lie. That math don't even add up.
Yeah, it's not possible. The worst defense to ever make a Super Bowl was the Arizona Cardinals 2008. Right. So the Eagles did not make no Super Bowl. The Eagles had one of the best defenses in football. They had and even in the playoffs, they had all kind of sacks, all kind of turnovers, forced all kind of fumbles. They had an amazing defense. So I don't know what these people on, man. I don't know what they were talking about, but that was just a bold faced lie.
And then I'm gonna tell you something, not to make no excuses for Dak, but bro, go look at the defenses that Dak played in the playoffs, bro. Like he played the San Francisco 49ers defense twice, and they were the #1 defense in the playoffs. Twice. He went because after we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we went to San Francisco, who had the #1 defense in football, and they were playing at home. Then we lost to the Rams defense in LA, who was like a top 3 defense. They had Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald on the same defensive line. And we chose to use Noah Brown to block Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, you're right. And that did not work out well. But hey, man, we've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes, cuzzo, man. If you want to go live later on tonight, because I know you're gonna be at the hotel not doing that, man, we can do a late night Cowboy show later on. I got a little thing out here I'm about to go do with these kids. But other than that, man, if you let them know where they can find you at.
Yeah, man, it's Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. Y'all please make sure y'all hit that like on the way out, hit that share, hype the video. And you know what, sub up, man. We still do member only content over here, man. We've been dropping members only content. So get your subscription, and most importantly, man, please slap the shit out of Eagles fan. You know they deserve it, man. But I appreciate my cuz for having me on here, man. It's always fun, you know. Gotta actually do something besides sit in this room and look at the wall. So I appreciate you, cuz.
Hey, you know it, man. And hey, we gonna be live. Are we gonna be live in the morning again or what? Well,
Yeah,
actually, no. Well, actually, I got a little thing I gotta go take care of at 8:30 for my daughter. So as long as we're done before like 7:30, I should be good.
cool. Yeah. We cool. Yeah, they'll work because I'll be up early anyway.
All right. Well, hey, man, you guys already know what it is, man. It's your boy West Coast. Never look down because stars up. Peace.